Hello again. Welcome to the Paranormal NightStalker. I am Joel Walling. With me, as always, is Michael Smith. And this week, we don't really have a lot prepared. This is going to be a week of catastrophic insanity. Simply being, one, as you can probably tell by my voice, I'm not 100%. I had a cold all weekend and into probably, I think it really started going away on Tuesday. After Tuesday, we had things getting set up quickly because we have many things going on in the month of October. A matter of fact, we have so much stuff going on in the month of October, we need more October. I mean, that's just the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
So if we could get like half of November to count as October, that would be great. I don't think it'll happen, but it would be great for us because coming up this weekend, we actually have an investigation that we are going to attempt to bring to you as live as possible. We're going to try to stream some of it. If you go to the Paranormal Night Stalker Facebook page at Night Stalker Pod, or the PNBC Paranormal North Coast British Columbia page at Paranormal BC, or the PNBC site, which is www.paranormalbc.com, we're going to be trying to bring you as much of that as possible live from the George Little House in Terrace, British Columbia. Now, I'll go into a little bit more details than that later, but I wanted to get out some of the other stuff we're going to be doing. Right now, we also have just ending, actually ended Monday, I believe, Monday. Yeah, it was. Do you remember when the vote ended?
No,
No.
I'm still doing evidence review.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get into the evidence review also later. But I believe it was Monday. At some point Monday, the vote ended for a live investigation with PNBC. We have invited the public to come and investigate with us. We're going to do a really kind of popular area here. It won in a landslide of votes of Hirsch Creek here in Kitimat, British Columbia. We've had some interesting stories come out of there especially since we put up this this poll to see where they wanted to come investigate with us. And basically it's going to be for the Kitimat Food Bank. We're not charging anything but we're asking that everyone bring a non-perishable food item because we're trying to help out the local food bank. The need in food banks is never filled. I mean, people think, well, it doesn't. The need in a food bank never ends. I mean, there are some families that basically pretty much count on this for their survival. So we're trying to help out with that. Later in the month, I believe the date is set for the 27th. We have we're going to be taking part in. We're not going to be doing it. It's being held by somebody else. But we are actually going to be taking part in the Terrace Zombie Walk. Now that is going to be, again, for the Terrace, British Columbia Food Bank. And if you're in the Terrace or Kitimat area and want to come out and dress up as a zombie and walk around the streets with us, that's great. Come on up. That'll be closer to the end of the month. Now, the Hirsch Creek investigation we have right now, I don't want to say set, but tentatively decided for Saturday, October 13th. I do know there's some Kitimat and Terrace people that listen to this, so if you are in Kitimat or Terrace and you would like to come and actually do a paranormal investigation with us, this is not to watch a clip. This isn't to, this is going to be actually in the field with us. You can come right with us if you have, whatever app or whatever on your phone. If you bring your camera, if you have investigation gear yourself, if it's something you've always wanted to do, bring it. Come and investigate with us. If you don't, that's fine. Come anyway. You can use some of ours. I'll show you how to use the stuff. I'll tell you what it's for. And it'll just be a good day. It's not going to be a nighttime thing. You're not going to have to worry about wild animals and all of that. It's going to be during the day. We're going to be able to see everything clearly. Hopefully the weather will hold out. It's been really cold here lately, but we live in Kitimat, British Columbia, so what do I expect? The name literally means people of the snow. It doesn't mean people of palm trees and, umbrella drinks. So yeah, it's turned cold, but it still should be a great day. Now,
It was 90 here today.
yeah, and it was about actually. I'll take it back. I was about to really complain, but around lunchtime today, the temperature started going up pretty good. I think last time I saw the temperature said it was around 12 Celsius. I think that's around 60, 50 something, 60 something Fahrenheit. So it's an improvement. Yesterday morning when I woke up, it was 25 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. It was like -3 Celsius. So yeah, that's cold, and for October, that's cold. That's a cold start to October. Now, I guess you would say bigger news, and this is one we do have set. Again, I hate to kind of be, and we do have actual stuff that's going to be of interest to other places besides terrorists in Kitimat, British Columbia, or Prince Rupert, or wherever you happen to be from, if you're from this area. But we do have something now set up. And you need to go onto the Facebook page. If you haven't liked it already, like it and follow it. So, because we do have it set for the date. The time is being slightly adjusted, so I don't know for certain the time. But on October 24th, PNBC, myself, Dan, John, and possibly Roy, will be doing a presentation with the Vancouver Paranormal Society. Another PNBC member, Pete, he's also the president of the Vancouver Paranormal Society. We will be doing a presentation 2 hours long at the Terrace Heritage Park. This is where we have been investigating for the past couple of months, actually, this past summer. And we haven't been able to talk about it. We haven't been able to say anything. We were under a confidentiality contract. And we have just been given the go-ahead to start promoting and talking about it. And you will be amazed some of the stuff we got there. This is going to be a live presentation. You're going to be able to meet us, talk to us, ask us questions, watch what we have, hear us tell stories, tell us your story. It's really going to be a big event. And this is going to be happening at, right now, I believe it is scheduled for 7 p.m. October 24th. Now, the reason I said you need to like the page, follow it, and all that for this, if you're in the area, there is going to be a number you have to call to RSVP. Because right now it looks like we're only going to be able to have about 40 people there. So it is crucial that you get your spot. And, of course, this is also free. The presentation, everything is going to be free. You just come in, show up, you get to hear the stories, see the videos, see pictures, listen to evidence, our EVPs, stuff like that. We're going to set up with earphones and all of this where you can actually sit and listen to the stuff happening and the EVPs and all of that. It's really, the idea behind it, the way we're setting this up is going to be incredible. But that's what we're doing with evidence review, and which I was about to bring Michael in on that, because since I have been sick and since I have been busy with a bunch of other things, Michael has been primarily doing the evidence review.
Yeah, I need more. I need more months of myself. I've been hitting it, and I'm still not done. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much more I'm going to get out of it, because you never know what you can get. But I've got there's some freaky stuff on there, people. There really is. I'm not going to give any details.
Well, as far as I know,
for a lot of years, some of that stuff even surprised me. So
yeah. I was about to say, as far as I know, as far as I was told today by Kaylee, I believe her name was Kaylee. I hope it was Kaylee. I hate getting people's names wrong, but by Pete and Kaylee, as far as I'm understanding, since now the go-ahead to promote the event has been given, I am actually working on a teaser video of it for the PNBC page, just showing a little bit of what we got, setting the mood, and like I said, though, we're not sure exactly what the demand is going to be, but we know that there is very, very limited room. And in fact, we're going to be in one of the buildings we investigated, holding this presentation. So it's, like I said, it's going to be really an incredible event. And with 40 only, that's not a huge number. I mean, Dan's already talked about people he knows that wants to come. Of course, my wife and I've got family members that have said they want to come. We're already probably talking 20 people, just off of people we know. And there's a couple of people from the Facebook page that talk to us talk to us a lot and comment a lot that live in Terrace. I'm almost positive they'll be there. So, I mean, you're already looking at half the tickets gone. So, I don't see 40 lasting long.
I had a thought. I wanted to run something by you. I know this month is crazy with all the stuff we got. You said we're backed up till the middle of November, but do you have a public library there?
Yeah, there's one in. I have access to the public library in Kitimat and Terrace, and it was the North Coast Community College library in Terrace. I
was thinking maybe what we could do, or I say we because I'm part, but I unfortunately can't be there because I'm 5,000 miles away. But maybe we could set up another screening of that evidence in the library with more space at a later date.
The way for people that, I'm going to honestly say the way Kaylee was talking about it, I think she's going to try to ensure that nobody gets turned away. So I think depending on how quickly the tickets move, if let's say we have everything set up with the RSVP number and everything by Monday, and just throwing a figure out there and say they've got like 38 tickets gone by Tuesday or Wednesday, I think Kaylee will probably change the location to accommodate, because while this is a free event, we're trying to bring attention to a place that basically there are a lot of people in Terrace and Kitimat that were born and raised there and that have no clue this place exists.
Yeah, I just would hate for someone to be turned away that wanted to come and couldn't get a ticket.
Yeah, that's exactly what. And like I said, she doesn't want that to happen either. So I think if we see like I said, if the all the information gets released by Monday or Tuesday, if we end up out of tickets by Monday or Tuesday or something like that, I'm rather certain that Kaylee will change the location, because she said there were a couple of places open to us, but we thought it would be neater to have it there in the park where we're talking about the park, so it's like, it's not like, okay, well, have you ever been? Well, now the building looks like, no, we could be like, okay, you see that building right over there? Yeah, about 3 hours after everyone that works in the park left, and about an hour before we left, when 3 of us were in one house and 2 of us were in another, that house way over there in the corner, yeah, all of its lights just came on for no reason. It's a little different when you can actually look out the window and see it. Or like when I start playing Eclipse, like, you hear these footsteps running around? Yeah, you realize that that's like right over there by that guy? Yeah, you're sitting in the room right now where that happened. That brings a whole other atmosphere to it. It's not that you're seeing this story or you're hearing this story and you're seeing this video and all of that. You're actually sitting in the place that it happened. Or you can look and
Are you going to be Hello? Are you going to be are you going to record the prison?
As far as I know, yes, we will be recording the presentation. So even if I don't believe the park has any type of internet, and to try to put a 2-hour presentation out live on Facebook would be probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 or $500, and that's too much. We can't do that. But no, I was just saying for that. Yes, as far as I know, the presentation will be recorded, and I do plan to put some, if not all of it, out eventually on Facebook for PNBC and the Heritage Park and VPS and all of that, because like I said, we're really trying to get it's like the place we're investigating here this tomorrow. I was about to say this coming weekend. I was like tomorrow, but it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
The George Little House. It has an absolutely amazing history that nobody knows. I mean, I've driven by this house a dozen times. It's at the train depot. It's at the train station, and it's a beautiful looking old house. But that's what people see, and it's just a pretty old house.
I like you to be with you for that one.
Yes, actually, you will be. I'm going to try to bring you in, and I want to have Sherry do our other friend, Psychic Medium Sherry, who's also a member of PNBC, but she is a remote member because I think, we're an international team. Besides the fact that Pete's from England and I'm from the U.S. and the rest of the people are from Canada, we have you in South Carolina and Sherry in, Oregon? So yeah. We've got members all over the map. But that's, I would like for her to do a walkthrough with us. That's why I'm not, in case she listens, I'm not going to say any great detail about it. And I've already said the name of it, which is more than I wanted to, because Sherry likes to come in blind. And I don't want anything to cloud her or coerce her abilities. But yeah, it's an amazing, like I said, it's an amazing place that, again, people have gone past it and gone past it and gone past it, and they have no clue the history. No clue what the place actually is or was. And there's another really, really interesting thing, especially to me, being Irish. There's a place next to it. It's on the same property, and, it's just a fenced-in area. It's called Tiny Town. And it's something else they're trying to save. Because what it was is there were an Irish couple that had immigrated to Canada from Ireland, and they got homesick. Well, needless to say that they couldn't just jump, back over to Ireland. They decided to build their hometown in a tiny little area. So these are, maybe knee-high, 2-3 feet tall buildings, but they are exact replicas of the main street of their hometown in Ireland. And he built this little city that you can walk through, and it's his hometown. It's their hometown. After his wife passed away, the man lost interest in caring about it. Plus, he was older anyway. So it started to be, time and weather started to take it. So I think the Historical Society in Terrace stepped in, and he donated it to them. They took it and they started taking care of it and brought it back to life, and and gave it a new coat of paint, those kind of things. Well, now again, that is getting lost in time and current technologies and stuff like that. It's that connection to the history is gone. So people are losing interest, and it's starting to fall into disarray again. And I mean, to me, to think that this guy and his wife sat and were so homesick that they actually sat and built a exact copy of the main street in their hometown so they could walk in this little bitty village whenever they got homesick and feel like they had a little piece of home with them.
Doesn't happen anymore. Not with the internet and everything, and you can just go on YouTube and look at pictures of wherever you want to look at, pretty much. I mean, I could pick any town in any county in Ireland, pretty much, and get a YouTube video on it. And but it's different then, and the work that it took to build that, and the love that went into it, because they were homesick, but they loved the town they were from.
Yeah, and they wanted that little, like I said, the little part of them to get, or a little part of it to be with them.
And it was a connection to each other because they probably met in that town and, first dates.
Yeah. Memories and,
it's just kind of sweet,
Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff, like I said, there's a void here. and I don't mean to get up on a soapbox or anything or to try to put anybody down, but in a lot of cases, the people that grew up here don't see it because they've always seen it. It's like when they tell you, "Well, stop looking for it and you'll find it." That kind of thing. You know, when you're like really digging and looking for something that you're sure you left right there, but then as soon as you stop looking for it, boom, there it is. You know, and it's that kind of thing here too. They've seen it so much their whole lives that to them, it's just a building, or it's just a park, or it's they don't the history of it and the meaning behind it and the everything that was it's all forgotten. It's just it gets like
Well,
I said,
like
it just gets
the
forgotten and
heritage,
pushed away.
the heritage part. The heritage part. There are people, like you said, and I've never been there, obviously, but there are people that live there have never been there.
Yeah.
You know,
I was talking to Kaylee today. I said, it was amazing when I first started the investigation here. I was telling my wife where it was, and she's going, "Where is this heritage park?" Like I don't. I was like, if it hadn't been the fact that she's a registered care aide, and she had one of the places that she was potentially thinking about working that had done an interview for her was near, like right across the street from it. Well, I was able to say, "Well, do you remember that one place?" "Yeah, I remember that." "Okay, it's right there." And she kind of looked at me and she's like, "Really? There's a park with a bunch of houses in it right there?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's right there." I had no clue. No idea whatsoever. And I was telling Kaylee that, and she's like, "Oh, don't be surprised." She's like, "Honestly, she said she has talked to people, and when she says, 'I work for the Heritage Park,' they go, 'Oh, where's that?'" She's like, they have no idea. No idea at all that this place is there. And it's a real shame because it has a lot of history of Terrace. It's got like some of the first fire engines in Terrace. It's got the first telephone switchboard from Terrace. It's got a lot of the Calum Hotel. It was actually on the Calum River, and it was originally one of the homes of George Little, which is a founder of Terrace. So I mean, these things, it's like all of this that ties in deeply to the community and the history of the community here is right there, and the people don't know it's there. And like I said, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was actually owned by him and his mother, or his mother and he was there. However it worked. I mean, I will have more details on that with like the video and all of that. It's going to be, like I said, we're going to be doing with the presentation. And it's just like I said, for people to not even know, to spend their whole lives when they're around here and not know it's there. Another absolutely one of my favorite places to be around here is the lava beds up by New Orleans and Coleth. When I first started talking about those, John looked at me and he's like, "There's a volcano here?" Yeah, there was. It's up by New Ange and Concolas and Greenville and all that. And he's like, "I never knew that." I think Roy said he knew about it because he came on a field trip once. And it's like, it's a couple hours outside of town, but how do you not know about this? And like I said, it's absolutely one of my absolute favorite places in the world. It is absolutely gorgeous. And there's so many neat, I love mythology and legends and things like that, and that is just full of them. The whole area. You can drive down there, and it has a driving tour, and it's just, when you come, it's funny, you need to come back, you need a computer to go on the driving tour. They need to think that through a little bit. They need a little welcome center at the start of the driving tour so you can pick up a pamphlet that tells you the stuff about the driving tour, because you go on the driving tour, and then when you come home, you start looking up the driving tour, and that's when you find all the stories about it, like the drowned forest, why the lava lake, where it got its name from, why they believe. I think I've talked about this before, but it basically, there was two kids that were torturing salmon in a river, and it angered a god, and the god was in the volcano. the volcano went off to destroy the villages. She was just going to destroy everything. Well, the villages ran to another god and begged them for protection. So the first thing the other god did was split what it was a river but is now a lake. It's Lava Lake, and I can't remember the name of the other lake, but he split it and caused the water to flood the valley and put out the lava. Then the two gods got into a fight, and the one god retreated to the volcano and sleeps. The people there said that the volcano sleeps, but is not dead. That if someone gets out of line or something like that happens again, then she will awaken and destroy again. So you driving through there, you see Lava Lake. Of course, there's lava rocks everywhere. It's a lava bed. It's just miles and miles of lava rock. And then you have like where the highway runs through it. There's of course, is forest area, and then there's the drowned forest, which is absolutely amazing that you're driving through this, and there are all these trees growing straight out of water. You know, it's literally like a lake with nothing but a lake inside of a forest. And like I said, it's a beautiful, beautiful area, just incredible. And there's so many little paths, and the paths are like easily. It doesn't take like massive skills, or I could barely walk most days. You know, hiking to me is not really an option. Like I'm going to go climb a mountain today or something like that. Hiking like that to me is not an option. Yeah. These are very easy.
Yeah, have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and a couple of times I almost haven't made it, but you know, so like I said, these paths are very easy to take. They're never very long, and one of my favorite is you just go down this path. It's maybe a 2 or 3 minute walk, and then you just walk out into the easiest way to describe it for me is like you walk out into this almost like you expect fairies and things to be around you. You walk out into this clearing, and you have this trickling waterfall and stream that runs by it, and it's gorgeous. It is absolutely mind-blowingly gorgeous there. And like I said, that's another one that there's a good chunk of people here that have no idea it's sitting there, and it's like a 2-hour drive from here. People drive 8 and 10 hours to go to a concert, but that's 2 hours away, and they have no idea.
Speaking of stuff that's around but nobody sees much, I know you guys were doing some Bigfooting up there. Anything else on that front?
Well, not really because of the fact of being sick. But yes, to quote the words of the great and wise Bobo, we's went squatching. We did set up the trail cams in a place. We had gotten a report of a Bigfoot attack. Guys said this was not just a sighting, this was an attack. Large rocks were thrown. His truck was hit hard enough to move the truck. Things like that. Limbs knocking. You know, we had there's a lot of reports from this area. We did set the cameras up there over the weekend, I believe. This past weekend. I think they were set up Friday, and we got them, I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm not sure which. But it was one of those Tuesdays. And I have not had time to really look at that. There's about 6,000 pictures, and I'm not exaggerating.
I'd be glad to help, but like I said, I'm still doing evidence review.
Well, that's exactly why I haven't had time to do it, because everything I've been focusing on has been with the Heritage Park, because that is the pressing main thing. And the fact is, we really need to get that done, because we probably will have yet another presentation later this month for the George Little House, because it's something that she was interested in doing, is having people come in, listen to the stories, watch a video, that kind of thing. And why not? It's like I said, and it's like I told her, it's like I've told Kaylee, you know, yes, I am a paranormal investigator. I am a researcher. I do this. I've done this for years. This is what I do. I host the podcast, and that's, again, what I do. But when I'm doing this, when I'm out there, especially when I'm in these historic buildings, and I'm in, it doesn't matter to me if I'm in an open field. I want to tell the story of that field. I don't care if I get a ghost. I don't care if a full-body apparition grabs Dan and humps him.
I'd pay for that.
It doesn't matter. Actually, I would too. I think it'd be hilarious. It doesn't matter to me, though, what we capture as far as evidence goes. But if I get to tell the story of this place, I get, it's like, I remember a quote, and I remember the quote, but I can't remember what it was from. And it was actually a ghost, and he was sitting on the side of the building that was talking to another ghost, and he says, "We should let them know we were here. Then they'll remember us." And that's kind of what I look at when I do this. It's my chance to tell people and remind them this was here. And now you will remember it. It's like the stuff we did with with Dyke Road. There's so many people that have no idea that was actually a Heisla fishing village. We just see it as Dyke Road. It's the place where a water pumping station is. That's it. That's what everyone sees it as now. It's a subdivision near it. There's River Lodge, a community center. But they don't think of at one time, that was a crucial area for the Heisla people. That was a main staple of their diet, their food. It was where they lived. It's where they got the means to survive. That's forgotten in time. But that's what I've told everybody about Dyke Road. More and more people are hearing that now. They're remembering it. They know it was there. And that's exactly what I hope to bring to the Heritage Park and the George Little House and all of the other places that we're looking into now. There's tons of them. We found a veterans, a World War I or World War II veterans unit up here, where they were bringing injured and wounded and things like that. No clue it existed.
It was like a cemetery or something, or a hospital?
No. It was a hospital. It was a hospital.
It's still standing?
Yeah. It's now a historic site.
Do we have a connection to get in there?
Pete's working on that.
Sweet.
And if I haven't got anything from Pete, I'll tell him I'll take it too, because both of us will go at it. I was trying to think of another one we were told today. There is a Pioneer Cemetery that has a park attached to it, because it's like I told her, I was like, I don't mean to come off the way I'm going to sound, but to me, it's disrespectful to do investigations in cemeteries. So we usually try to stay out of them.
Yeah, I don't.
I was like, now I will make exceptions. If the cemetery is like a family plot and it's on land that we are investigating, I will investigate around it and possibly in it. Like also, if it is something like a historic cemetery that has a significance to something. I was like, let's say, a battlefield or something like that. Then yeah, I would investigate it. I was like, but just to go into a cemetery, that usually ends up attracting more problems than need be. Because then once you go into a cemetery, every teenager that's ever watched a horror movie or Ghost Adventures wants to go into a cemetery. And that's when you get people, damaging headstones and things like that. And that's simply, I won't put up with it. That's a major no for me.
Yeah, I've done a couple of private cemeteries that were on land, like you said. That we did one farm here, a local farm, pretty good sized farm actually. They raised horses, and they were having some stuff go on, and they wanted someone to look at it, so we went out and did it. Pretty heavy for it. We did one day we scouted, and then we did one night investigation. A group that I was helping out. I really wasn't part of the team. I was kind of a consultant, like I usually am. They needed someone to do the background and to go out and kind of give my hand. And so I went and we did that. We got some interesting stuff there too. Um, but I don't, as a matter of course, I don't do cemeteries unless
Yeah.
there's a specific thing that has to be done with it.
Yeah, or like you said, if it's on one of the cemeteries I've done, it was a family plot that was in the middle of a farm we were investigating. So yeah,
Yeah,
it had it, and it was a focus of activity. So when you have it as a focus of activity and that kind of thing, you really can't ignore it because it's either residual or an intelligent haunting. And if it's an intelligent haunting, that means something is trying to communicate in some form. If you have the ability to communicate with it, you pretty much have an obligation to try. I mean, if you're there and you're investigating, if somebody, again, it's kind of goes like this: if somebody invites you into this place and says, I have activity here and this is what's happening, then you need to try. I'm not saying grab a Ouija board and run out to a damn cemetery tonight.
no,
That's
and
just the
that's
way it
and
is.
that too. Even most, well, I don't know about most. I only speak from my own stuff, but I've never used a Ouija board on an investigation.
No,
You
actually,
know,
very much
Ouija
so.
boards are not, contrary to what you might see on a TV show, Ouija board method of paranormal investigation. And if someone don't people saying that, there probably people aren't going to agree with that, but it's not.
I actually, I got into an argument with a guy on Facebook when we first did our live stream for PNBC with the Ouija board session, because frankly it was Jan. I keep on wanting to call John and Dan at the same time, so it comes out Jan, but me, Dan, and John, and I think I called Dan Don that time. So I just can't get his damn name right tonight. But anyway, me and the other guys, none of us had ever used a Ouija board. So I said this is fine, because what we'll do is we'll do exactly what the box tells us to do. And that's exactly what we did, which, first off, this was an old Ouija board, and the box instructions were absolutely freaking hilariously awkward and weird worded, and basically we're just trying to get some guy laid. But
Yeah.
and since neither one of us had an interest in that, and it was me and Dan doing it, we moved on from there quickly. But a guy got onto the chat.
And Dan became Jan for the night. And
Yeah. Well, yeah, it happens more often than you think. I keep calling him that, and I don't know why. But, well, actually I do. It's just the J and Dan combined from John and Dan. But anyway, so this guy gets into the chat on there, and he's just ranting and raving. I cannot believe you call yourself a paranormal investigator and do not know how to use a Ouija board, and blah, 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 blah. And I said simple to him, the reason I don't know how to use a Ouija board is because I am a paranormal investigator. I am a scientist, and there is no scientific method or scientific meaning behind a Ouija board. It is a piece of cardboard made by the same company that makes freaking Monopoly. There is nothing to the Ouija boards. Like, so no, I do not know how to use a board game. And for all of the people out there listening, because this has been another pet peeve of mine that I've had to get in more arguments than I care to admit about, the Ouija board did not name itself, and Ouija does not mean good luck. It was named by the person that created it with the French word oui for yes, and the German word ja for yes. So actually, the actual name of a Ouija board is the Yes Yes board. And I think you can say that the mystical Yes Yes board doesn't quite have the same effect of the mystical Ouija board. Because let's face it, who's going to be terrified of the Yes Yes board? That's where the name came from. Do some research. Don't believe Facebook. Facebook is the last thing you should believe. Even if you research it yourself and find it to be true, but you read it on Facebook, research it again just to make sure. because any idiot can post anything they want on Facebook.
And by the way, that goes for Wikipedia also.
Yes, it does. Because actually, I have seen one of the people I corrected on the name of the Ouija board actually sent me a link to the Wikipedia page stating it. And I'm like, Wikipedia can be edited by anybody. Bringing in one of my other things I love is wrestling. I love pro wrestling. I have for years. It's like my unwind thing. It's my brainless, mindless entertainment. I like to just sit there and watch that or listen to stuff about it. Well, one of the guys used to be a writer for the WWE and for an old company called WCW. His name is Eric Bischoff. He submitted a bunch of corrections to his Wikipedia page, including his birth date, his age, his middle name, and all of this stuff. And they actually had somebody contact him. Why do you think these things are right? And he's like, well, that's quite easy. I'm Eric Bischoff. It's my Wikipedia page. I'm correcting your incorrect information. They still argued with him. Well, we would have to be sure. And he's like, you know what? Tell you what, just keep it wrong. Fine. Well, I don't know. You got anything else you want to throw in?
I can't think. Take some time and do whatever, and we got a busy weekend coming up again.
Yes, we do. We got possibly a very, very busy month, but a very busy weekend coming up, and I'm still not quite at 100%, as you can tell, again, by the voice. So, at 42 minutes, I'm going to just get on our shameless plugs, and we're going to call it a night so we can actually get some rest, maybe, before the investigation tomorrow.
Works for me.
If you have not already, you can like us, subscribe to us. I don't even know what else you can do with these things because I don't know what all of the different formats we're on anymore. But we are on iTunes, Google Play, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, Speaker, where you can listen to us live most times. This one, on the other hand, is actually pre-recorded rather than live because I didn't want to go live. I feel kind of so wanted to kind of get this done. Speaker, Podcast Addict, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Facebook, and a few others I'm probably forgetting. We are actually working on getting on Amazon Alexa. Right now I think we're on Alexa, but we're on the speaker station. So you just go to the speaker app or whatever and say play Paranormal NightStalker. You can hear all of our past episodes and listen to the live ones in the future. To find us online, you can look for us simply on Facebook at NightStalker Pod, Twitter at NightStalker Pod, Google Play or Google Plus, whichever the other Google thing is, kind of like Facebook that nobody actually uses or goes to. It's the Paranormal NightStalker, which you can also message us on there and message us on the Google Hangouts, which even fewer people are on than Google Plus or Play or whatever that one is. For Paranormal North Coast, British Columbia, we are on Facebook, of course, at Paranormal BC. That's where you're going to find all the latest information about everything I've been talking about, any videos, live or otherwise. Also, we have our own website, paranormal at www.paranormalbc.com. On there, you're going to find even more stuff because we're going to be putting on things that are exclusive to the website. I've already started doing that, such as with our Bigfoot video. I have actually put pictures of what I believe to be a Bigfoot habitat and footprint on the page. So you can go and check those out online at www.paranormalbc.com. Or you can find the link, of course, on Facebook, where I hope you would come by, give us a like and a follow, like I said, so you can get in your early tickets for this presentation with VPS and PNBC at the Terrace Heritage Park on the 24th of October. There, of course, on Facebook at Paranormal BC. That's all you have to put in for your search. So, on behalf of Michael Smith, of course, I am Joel Walling signing off this week again for the Paranormal NightStalker. Hope you've had a good time and will join us next week. We will talk again soon.